The most disastrous thing going on right now between both Disney and Lucasfilm is the ongoing shakeup between the Lucasfilm story group, Kathleen Kennedy, Leslye Headland, and among others, going against, of course, the Disney executives, Bob Iger, etc., all because of what's been going on with the Acolyte, of course, cancellation situation. We'll talk more about that as we go throughout the week. But what's interesting about this has a lot to do with the fact that Leslye Headland also lost out on a multi-million-dollar deal. We talked about this as well as how she lost multiple Marvel projects as a co-writer, as a director, as well as multiple Star Wars projects in the same exact format as a co-writer and a director for various films and or TV shows. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. So one thing about The Acolyte is that we all know that 2 more episodes is not going to save this series. Episode 6 really, I think showed fans what you can do with an episode that really just puts fans into complete boredom and just calls it quits. So now you have episodes 7 and 8. We got episode 7 dropping this Tuesday, and Leslye Headland is already labeling this as an episode that's going to outperform the lightsaber fights in the prequel movies by George Lucas. Now, what's interesting about this has a lot to do with Leslye Headland going into damage control mode yet again in the midst of her contract deal really going into complete chaos over at Disney and Lucasfilm, and also what's been going on with her overall shakeup over at Disney. Let's get into this. Now, specifically, of course, with only 2 episodes left of The Acolyte, those like Leslye Headland have been engaging in full-on damage control over the series in a desperate move to save the show after episode 6 failed to reverse the backlash. Now, one significant development going on right now has more to do with Headland and what she had to deliver to the fans. Leslye delivered the following. What I find to be the biggest challenge when creating a Star Wars series is that we live in a time where you can't trust reviews anymore. I really think fans have their own agenda when they tend to claim that here at Lucasfilm that we hold some form of an agenda or a forced narrative, which is not true at all. But what I find to be the more serious problem when you are dealing with a loud minority that can make themselves sound like the majority of fans is that many times studios hear that and make the wrong decisions and calls on the future of a show or a series of movies. We have seen this happen with Marvel and other brands, and it's just outright irresponsible for fans to act in such a way. I will be honest that I was engaging in many conversations about where we needed to go with the universe, and some of those conversations are not really moving forward right now. But I am not willing to get into that just yet and into those details. But I think what we are dealing with today, and Kathy Kennedy pointed this out twice now, that the women in the Star Wars world really deal with a tough run once the product is complete, because fans just don't accept that women are also a big part of this large galaxy. I mean, just look at the response that Charmin had to deal with her new Rey Skywalker movie, that they really are, of course, trying to put together, and they are hitting roadblocks because of different factors. The Acolyte, as far as I see it, is something of its own, that I really genuinely believe outperforms the original trilogy and their twist and turns. I mean, there are just so many twists and turns in this thing that it easily outperforms the shock that fans first got in The Empire Strikes Back. So guys, let me just say a thing here about what Leslye is spewing once more, is that she is going as far to say that there's going to be a twist and turn in The Acolyte that outperforms the I am your father moment in The Empire Strikes Back. Nobody, and I mean nobody, can top that. It's not just the idea of what happened in Empire, it's when it happened and how unexpected it truly was. It was also the fact that it was the first twist in Star Wars at the time. So you really can't recreate such a response like that, because fans truly were not, at the time, expecting any kind of a twist in Star Wars. Now, you more or less expect a lot of these hack creators like Leslye Headland to do exactly that. Create a twist and turn that's gonna create shock value, or to make you go, ooh, ah, at the actual Star Wars show or movie. It doesn't work. And they're gonna try to do the same exact thing with the upcoming Rey Skywalker film. Even Charmin Obaid-Chinoy, the director leading this thing, said that she wants to create something that will kind of tee it up to The Empire Strikes Back, or tee it up to what the original trilogy stands for when it comes to shock value. So what's interesting about this, moving onwards, is that she continues, "We really hit lightning in a bottle again. And I couldn't be more proud about what we put together. Kathy and I have had so many conversations about this growing problem. You just have to roll with the punches and deal with loud, entitled fans, because they really don't speak for your entire audience. And that's what kept me going. About the criticisms online, and I pointed this out before, they aren't authentic. And I think Disney and other studios have to come to terms with that, because so many studios make the wrong decisions based on false reception. Getting to grab advice from Rian Johnson and what he did with The Last Jedi, and knowing how I was going to be dealing with the same loud minority of fans that creates so much noise, I was all prepared for this to go down. But I am still shocked, to this very day, that the criticism from the same group is where it is right now. I really didn't expect fans like that to go out of their way so much over a fictional tale like Star Wars." So the reason why, not a big shocker here, the reason why so many fans get very defensive over this thing is that they're so fed up with hack creators, and that's exactly what they are, like Leslye Headland, Kathleen Kennedy, and among others out there like Rian Johnson, who grabbed such a valuable franchise that really changed so many lives, mind you, created so many memories for people's childhoods with their fathers, their mothers, their family members, and just completely tainted it to the point where Star Wars is such a devalued product right now. Nobody cares about it anymore. I don't know anybody that really talks about Star Wars anymore that were once very serious about it. If anything, even the casual fans that I know personally have been absolutely walking away from this franchise after The Acolyte. They're done. They want nothing to do with it anymore. Even Andor Season 2 is not bringing some of them back, and that spells a very big problem for Lucasfilm when it comes to 2025, and especially in both 26 and 27. So again, like I say, we have Leslye Headland, the showrunner, or should I just say the director of this thing, that really doesn't know what she's talking about. She goes on to say that she created lightning in a bottle again with The Acolyte, that the overall minority of fans making themselves appear very loud and the majority, and how they are the ones that are convincing the studios to make the wrong decisions. It seems like she's trying to blame fans for what's been going on behind closed doors. We talked about this, about how Bob Iger made that ultimate call to axe Season 2 and to also cancel High Republic movies specifically catered for Disney Plus only, and that is no longer moving forward. And so it's not a big shock as to why Leslye Headland is defending this thing like no tomorrow. She knows that Star Wars was her only future as a creator, as a director, whatever have you, and also the projects that she actually was supposed to take part in between both Star Wars and Marvel have actually fallen apart behind the scenes between herself and the Disney executives. But overall, guys, I would really like to hear what you all have to say about this ongoing situation between Disney and Lucasfilm and Leslye Headland defending this thing. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.